something.
Mm-hmm.
Cause that keep me out of the mix and this worldly things, the gossip. That keep me out of that. Cause I don't got time to listen to it.
Right, and I'm not looking at the news
Right.
often.
Yes.
They say observe but don't absorb.
Yeah,
That's right.
So that's what I'm trying to do.
I like
Observe
that.
but not absorb.
observe but not absorb.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Because
okay.
if you absorb it, it's frustrating.
Yes, yes.
Some of the stuff that's going on now, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, our Black Facts, that was a time. Oh, Frank, I'm sorry. Frank. Go ahead.
And now for today's Black Fact. Any of y'all remember the movie Hidden Figures? It was released back in the first release was in 2016 and then later on in 2017. The movie tells the story of 4 black women who were working on an Air Force base back in the 60s. And it talks generally about the struggles they had while working at an Air Force base. Well, the Black Fact for today is about one of those females that was in the movie. Now, the movie wasn't about her. It was just about their combined experiences. Her name was Gladys West. Gladys West is an American mathematician. She is known for her contribution to make mathematical modeling at the shape of the Earth and her work on the development of satellite geodesy models that we later incorporated into the global positioning system. Wait, we're talking back in the 60s when she was doing this.
Wow.
She never got the recognition that she deserved, but she was, her work contributed to the founding of GPS. She was later inducted into United States Air Force Hall of Fame in 2018. What? She worked there in the 60s. She worked like 30-something years. She didn't get recognition until 2018 when she was inducted to the Air Force Hall of Fame. That's the Black Fact for the moment.
Thank you, Frank. Wow.
And it
That's
also
deep.
feeds into our topic. And think more into the topic being trauma. But it just shows again the resilience of our people. In spite of what they as the group went through, they were able still to contribute on a high level. Just like we must contribute on a high level.
Brothers, what are some things people should know about in the community?
I'd say one of the things you should know about is Unioncapital Summer of Soul program.
Yes. Say that again.
The Unioncapital Summer of Soul program. Soul is an acronym, stands for Spotlight on Leadership, and these are all sessions that are run by our members within Unioncapital. I went to an event on Sunday. It was called From Garbage to Grandeur.
Okay.
Wow.
And what that was, if y'all ever saw a flea market flip,
Mm-hmm.
and you take like something you get at a flea market or you get it at Savers or what have you, you take it and then you redesign it.
Mm-hmm.
And Tiffany Williams, one of our members, was leading this class. It was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I had a good time. I told her she needs to do it again.
Yeah.
All of our sessions are fun.
Yeah.
I got to rework. I had an old nightstand, and I was like, man, I could refresh this, make it look cool. I wish I could show y'all pictures,
Yeah.
but it started off with just like a espresso brown, nightstand,
Yeah.
and now it's green. It's got some gold handles on it.
Wow.
It's got some
Yeah.
green, some leaves on the front of the drawers. It's so dope. But anyway, we do have a couple other sessions. We have 3 more sessions left in Summer of Soul. We have one this Thursday, one on Saturday, and then one the following Sunday. So 3 more to go. There's still some space available in some of these workshops. And you can go to unioncapital.org. That's unioncapital.org. Look under Summer of Soul under the menu to find all the opportunities for our sessions.
We know about refurbish. Back in the day, they called it hand-me-down. When you got your brother's old clothes and you were trying to rock it. Come on.
Hey, but at least right now, you've been learning how to make it look fresh.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
It ain't just like, oh, I got this shirt from my brother.
Yeah.
I got this shirt from my brother, and look what I did with it.
Right. Right. But it's the same idea going back to resilience. Same idea.
Yes. I remember driving by my aunt in the car. She always had a pickup truck, so she used to see beds, couches. We had to pull over and put them in the truck. But I tell you, when she got finished with it,
Amen.
her apartment was looking like she bought it out of Sears.
Amen.
So I respect that. So the topic of the day. Tonight's topic is about trauma. This is part 2 of our discussion we started last month, and we want to dig a little deeper, discuss the signs of trauma and the coping mechanism we used to deal with our old trauma. Start with the signs of trauma. Some reactions to trauma: losing hope for future, feeling distance, detached, or losing a sense of concern about others, being unable to concentrate, to make decisions, feeling jumping and getting started easy at sudden noises, feeling on guard and alert all the time, having dreams and memories that upset you, having problems at work or school, avoiding people, places, and things related to the event. How y'all feel about that, fellas?
Can you go back and talk about some of the signs of trauma?
Some of the signs?
Yeah.
Where does it say that? Some of the signs.
At the top where it says the signs of trauma?
Yeah. Oh, you want me to go? Oh, so go, okay. What a reaction, okay. What
What are the
about
cards I gave you?
Oh, he gave you some cards.
I gave you some cards. I know you don't have it because I gave some signs. Okay.
So what do y'all think are some of the signs of trauma?
For me, feeling distance, detached, or losing a sense of concern about others. Like, even like, when my uncle tried to molest me, right? I just felt during the years that, like, I always prayed, so I would always bring it back to God first and foremost. So I always prayed, and I always knew it wasn't my fault. I wasn't ashamed of it. But the most hurtful thing, I just felt like, I felt alone because I felt my father didn't protect me, and because it was his brother, he didn't do nothing about it. And then at the end, after 40-something years, when I brought it up to him, he called me. He said I was lying. So that hurted me the most. So, like, just feeling distance from your family, that made me distance from my family side, because I felt my grandmother and everybody knew about it because it happened to some of their kids, and everybody just didn't talk about it. But I talked about it, and I just felt like, I just felt alone. I just felt like, I'll never forget this. I was 11 years old. I must have been like 50 pounds because I was this big. I looked like JJ. I swear to God, I looked like JJ Evans. I swear to God, I looked like JJ Evans. And so, but on the plus side, that make me so protective of our children today. That's why I'm real protective about children today. And I teach my son, my grandson, if someone touched you down there, you let Papa know or your mother. Cause you got to talk about these things. You got to talk, and we got to watch our children, because your uncle, it could be Uncle Billy, but Uncle Billy ain't acting like Uncle Billy when you get older. So.
Okay. Another sign are extremes. We see it sometimes in black men and even in black boys. Some are hyper aggressive, and then some go the other way where they're not aggressive at all. So it's like from one extreme to the next. And too often, like Dennis had pointed out before, if you were to ask them, they would say, "This is how I am." not understanding either the trauma they felt or, more importantly, and this is what we haven't talked about it, too often the coping mechanisms that we learned, we also pass down. The problem is you haven't really dealt with the problem. You just taught us you just taught us the way you dealt with it, but that doesn't really solve the problem.
Real quick, Frank. So, how can you cope with that when you're 11 years old? You know it's wrong.
Right.
See, I knew it was wrong.
Right.
I knew off the bat that no man's supposed to be with a man. Because it's common sense.
Right.
You know, so how can you cope with that when you're 11 years old?
Yeah, you really can. And like you were saying, you tried to reach out, so you did as much
Yeah.
as you could.
Yes.
But at 11 years old, you don't have the mental maturity, and also, particularly for some black men, I'm going to be careful, we don't have the language to express it. So too often it comes out in our actions, and society allows us to show aggression, even though that doesn't really solve the problem.
I was going to say, just touching on that, I was going to say resources. We don't know
Yeah, that's the
a
other
lot
problem.
of things. We don't know, like, what's, you know, if it doesn't feel good and doesn't feel right, but you can't, you know, like, to your point, you can't express it. You don't, and also the trust. Like, you don't know who you can trust because someone's betrayed your trust. Right. And then you feel shame too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because you're like, now if I tell somebody, what are they going to think about me?
Yeah, yeah.
And so it's a big cycle.
Right. And we always had that thing in our community about don't air your dirty laundry.
Yes.
What happens in the house, you don't bring it on. Too often, growing up, we were victimized by that same thing. Back in the day, they used to say, snitches get stitches. So it was like one community saying to us in the same black community, if you squeal, you could get hurt. But the reality was they would snitch on each other all the time.
Yes, exactly. Yes. This is a little touchy subject for me, you know, but I like to talk about it because sometimes I do get nightmares, and I talk to about my therapist, and I always talk to my children, my grandchildren, you know, about this because unfortunately, you have family members that do that to their nieces and their nephews.
Right.
You got family members that do that to their little cousins.
Right. But that's part of the healing process is that when you do talk about it, that's helping you heal.
Yeah.
And then when you talk about it, you're trying to help somebody else.
Yeah.
And you're releasing.
Yes.
You're releasing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
See,
What you're doing is that 11-year-old boy.
yeah,
You are still talking to the 11-year-old boy inside of you.
yeah.
And you're telling him, no, this is not right.
Yeah, and you know, cause I know, like when I used to tell guys, I'd be in a group and I could tell every time which person it happened to, cause they put their head down, and then I'll talk to them one-on-one when I'm done and say, whenever you're ready to talk about it, what Mr. C, whenever you're ready to talk, but don't never be ashamed of nothing that happened to you because you're a baby. And then I leave it alone.
Right.
And then they'll come talk to me later. Like
Right.
it may be a year, it may be 2 years. You know, it's the shame.
Right.
You
Right.
know, the shame, the guilt, or whatever.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. Shame and guilt.
It's shame, the guilt, and how you gonna feel about around your peers.
Right.
So some kids they don't know how to be kind and concerning with something. They'll take it as a joke.
Yeah.
You know, but it's really, you know.
If we as black men don't go to the doctor with physical problems, then we're certainly not going to go
Yeah,
with
mental
mental
health
problems.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
nobody's going to admit,
Yeah.
I got a problem. We just don't do that. And a lot of times it's passive aggressive. Doctor, could you explain what is passive aggressive?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's this list.
He wants
And
a
I'm-
definition for real.
Yeah, I know. And this list, and Frank, I'm so sorry I forgot the
It's
things,
okay. It's
right,
okay.
Frank, but I'm gonna tell you, right, I'm gonna keep this because the only thing I can say honestly, guys, I never lost hope for the future. I always knew that I'm going to get through this when I was a kid. Because first thing I always knew, I knew it wasn't my fault, and I knew what he did was wrong. What he tried to do was wrong. So I was never ashamed to talk about it because I knew, you know what I'm saying, that this grown man tried to take advantage of me.
So wait, so when you were a kid, you weren't ashamed?
No. No.
So like
I was mad.
You was mad that it happened.
That it happened. Yeah. To my uncle. I just met him, and you do this.
Mm-hmm.
So the first person I told was my mother, and then she told my father. He never said nothing, and then we told because one time, you know, I want to get it deep because I don't want to put my family out there because I don't want to get upset. But it happened to another family member, and I knew it happened to him because he told me. I said,
by the same uncle?
Yes. Yes. And then we told his mother what happened, and her reaction was, "You must have liked it."
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, so it's deep. It's deep. You know what I'm saying? So, and I always told him, I said, I would never talk about this to I never told none of our cousins who happened. You know, I never talked about it. I never said nothing about it. You know, because we got a phone call. Oh, we have a phone call. Caller.
Good evening. This is Curtis Chambers. How goes it, fellas?
Hey,
Curtis. Hey, Kurt, what's up?
Not much, man. This is awesome. I love what you guys are doing. You gotta eradicate that stigma because that silence leads to more perpetuation, more violence.
Yes.
So
Yes.
the more we can have this conversation, that shame, that word, that's one that seems to be the one that's resonating with me the most, because that's something that when shame is in the room, everything else kind of falls to the wayside. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done to eradicate that. So how do we do that? By having these open, honest discussions without, you know, knocking anybody else, because we don't know why someone may have done what they've done. We're not excusing anything, but we're just also not, you know, focusing on that. It's more on the person that's in front of you that was open and honest with sharing with you, you know, the things that they're going through. So I appreciate that, because it lends itself to so many other behaviors. It shows itself things that you wouldn't even think of. You know, it's when you're doing work with someone and then peeling back layers, and eventually something will come on. It's like, I had no idea. So definitely being mindful of your language, the things that you say, because that could be perpetuating and you didn't even know, because you said something that was kind of, you know, offhand or ignorant, so to speak. So it's definitely a timely conversation, and I appreciate you guys for having it.
Thank you. Thank you, Curtis. Appreciate the call.
Absolutely. Miss you. Hopefully to get down there with you for the next one.
All right.
All right, y'all.
Yeah. So, because I've always wanted to be the poster child that you point the finger at me, you know, because for some reason I can take it. I can take, you know, point the finger at me. You know, long as I can help someone,
amen.
That's it. And it's so funny. It's a lot of that happen in our families that no one talks about.
Right. Because we were told not to.
You know, no one talks about it. To this day, my mother cried, and she, you know, I said, "Mom, you didn't do." I said, "Mom, that made me better, stronger.
Right.
That made me a better parent.
Say that.
It made me a better parent." And not only a better parent for mine, for other children that don't have fathers in their lives. It made me a better parent.
Amen.
It made me want to step up when I see someone that needs a male in their life. So that trauma brought out some good at the end.
Well.
It really did.
I think I hear something over here.
I'm telling you, it really. And I always make sure that I pray. Like, I'm not ashamed of nothing that happened in my life, because it was God's, you know.
Hey, now.
It was all God's purpose.
Come on, son.
It brought me to UCB.
Come on, son.
In November, and I just been like, when Garrett I didn't realize what I was joining into. He just said, "Come to the Brotherhood meeting." I said, "Yeah." He said, "Cornelius, I'm telling you, man, you fit for this. Come on, cuz."
And you ain't left since.
I ain't left since.
Hey, now.
I missed one meeting, and that's because Dennis didn't email me. Or I'm there. And it's so funny, right? I swear, my daughter, she says, "Dad, anytime you come, you tell me you're going to," because she said, "You going to the UCB meeting?" I said, "Yeah." So when I get back, she's going to ask me for something. And she said, "Daddy, your spirit's in it." She says, "Daddy, stay doing what you're doing."
Amen.
So if I know if my 18-year-old daughter can see the glow.
Come on now. Come on now.
And we need some more men. And I'm recruiting. So if I see you, I'm going to sign you up, and I'm going to try to get you to come to UCB Brotherhood meeting.
Come on,
'Cause
brothers.
I'm telling you, it saved my life.
Come on, brothers. Come on, brothers, get off the sideline. You've been on the sideline too long. Come on, brothers, jump in.
Yep.
Hey, get them to these meetings.
Hey.
Yes.
And experience Cornelius
Yes.
Hey.
live and in person.
Yes.
Experience Frank live and in person.
Well,
And me.
Yeah, Dennis live in person. Yes. So that's what. Yeah.
it's not what happens to you. It's how you respond.
Say that again, Frank.
Hey,
Say it
you
one
didn't
more
hear
time.
that. You didn't hear that. Somebody, I'm trying to talk to you. It's not what happens to you. It's how you respond to it. And sometimes it may be 20, 30 years later,
Yep.
but you're still dealing with that little
Yeah.
boy inside. You can still heal him. Come on, somebody.
So, what about the trauma we face as adults? So, because there's trauma that you experience as a kid that is out of your control.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
a lot of it is out of your control,
Right.
regardless of age.
Yes.
However, when you're a kid, you don't have the tools or the resources
Right.
that we
Yes.
already mentioned. But when you're an adult, you have access. You know about
Yes.
things a little bit more.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Dennis, I like you. I'm so glad because I was going to tell you this. So, I felt that was a form of bully when my uncle did that. So I do not like bullies, and it's bad to me because in a sense I always used to get into fights because I always want to fight the bully, whether you beat me up or not. I want to fight the bully because I was bullied when I was a child. So it took me to I haven't had a fight in over 20 years because it took me. And I remember my grandfather telling me something. He was like, "Cornelius, let me explain something to you." He said, "A real man outthinks a man."
Come on.
And I have to put
Come
my
on.
hands on him.
Come on.
So I know how to think. Like even these young guys, I know how to outthink them. But it did bring trauma because I've always wanted to fight. I never liked a troublemaker. If you was a troublemaker, I had to challenge you because I was what happened to me as a child. So when I grew up, I said, you can't spend your whole life fighting, especially if you're not getting paid for it in the ring.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? So I said, I'm not going to get paid for it. It's going to cost me money, lawyers. It's going to cost me money, maybe jail time. So I said, nah, let me just back up off this and just, use my mind and outthink
Amen.
them.
Amen.
So that's what I did when I grew up. So I'm glad you mentioned that, Dennis.
A lot of times as adults, we have that passive-aggressive behaviors. You know what that is, when they smile in your face and talk behind your back?
Yeah.
That's passive-aggressive. And it's only when we begin to look at some of our own actions, like, why
Yes.
did I react that way? Why did I respond that way? Well, some of that is passive-aggressive.
I was going to say,
Yeah, Dennis.
I was just saying, because you got me thinking about something else, right? You talk about passive aggressive, and it comes up in different forms
Yes.
too.
Yeah.
Like, someone who's got a smart mouth all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's coming from someplace.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. Someone that's always angry. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's coming from
Yeah.
somewhere.
It ain't, just because I ask you a question and you snap at me,
Right.
that's something about you.
Yes.
There's something in you
Yeah,
that's not
yeah,
subtle.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And people say to me all the time, "You so calm." I don't know how. That's just my demeanor. But I start to think about the people. And one of my friends, and I've heard people say this: hurt people hurt people.
Yes.
Definitely.
And so when you experience trauma as an adult or even as a kid, you find ways to adjust, cope.
Yes.
And part of your coping is lashing out at people in different
Yeah.
ways, in passive aggressive ways, and sometimes aggressive ways.
Yeah.
It ain't no fooling. I'm being aggressive with you
Yes.
right out the gate.
We saw that growing up. Remember playing the dozens?
Yeah.
We would be playing the dozen. Now,
Yeah.
wait a minute. When we look at it, when you step back, they're playing the dozen, they're laughing and joking, but they're tearing each other down.
Yeah.
We talk about him, we talk about his
Yeah.
mama, we talk about the family.
Yeah.
And we learned how to do that as a defense mechanism so we wouldn't be the kid that's being picked on.
Yes.
But a lot of that was just that passive aggressive, that's how they learned how to cope, and then we fell into it.
Yeah, because you made me think about when you talk about bullies.
Yeah.
I think everybody got bullied at some point.
Yes.
Because I remember being bullied as a kid, And then, you know, and like, what did I do to this person? You know, like, why are they terrorizing me? You know?
Yeah.
And, you know, it'd be, you know, and as an adult, I know, like, there was something wrong with them. Something that happened to them to where that's the only way they know how to respond to people.
Yes.
Right.
They gotta be, you know, the aggressor. They gotta be the person that is commanding the space in the room.
Yes.
And whether it's good or bad, like being the attention is on them for these things, so that the attention is not on them for the things that they're hiding.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, and thinking about, like, you know, our reactions to trauma, you know, I'm looking at the list and you know, you feeling on guard or alert at all the time, you know, like on guard, that's those bullies. Like they feel like every time you say something, and I think I mentioned this a couple of times before, but there's a guy that was crossing the street. I'm crossing the street with him, and I kind of crossed his path, and he yells at me. I'm never going to forget this because it only happened like 3-4 months ago. I'm never going to forget it. And I'm like, what is wrong with him? But I started thinking, that's him.
Yeah.
Something wrong with him.
Yeah.
Not you.
Because he's just upset at the world, right? And I'm just going to work, you know? I'm going to work. I don't know where he's going, but wherever he was going, he was not happy.
Right.
And I think about, like, other adults that you might run into. Like, I think about those aggressive car drivers.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is going on in your world?
Yeah.
Like, just relax. You know?
Right.
And some people who are, like, so pent up with trauma, who haven't addressed, like, any issues that they're dealing with. And trauma, again, is not necessarily abuse.
Yep.
It could be verbal abuse. It could be physical abuse.
Neglect.
It could be neglect.
Yep.
It could be, you know, you experience something traumatic, like a death, and you just haven't dealt with it.
Yeah.
Or, you know, an injury that has caused you to not be able to do things like you used to be able to do. Because I know people that, you know, they amputees. They get angry because they can no longer use their leg or their arm, or they can't walk or anything like that. It's a lot of different forms of ways that you experience trauma that, again, we don't deal with. Mm-hmm. We just think, it's, you know, it is what it is. You hear people say that all the time. It is what it is.
And that's how we normalize it. We even give it names. Road rage. That is a name for aggressive behavior. But because we've named it, it's okay now.
They say that
black men are aggressive. Like, no, we're not.
And what I've learned, like my body language, your body language can be aggressive.
Right.
And it took me years because I'm like, what? She's like, why you got an attitude? I said, I don't got an attitude, ma'am. I just asked you a question. Well, and then I learned. And then I remember my daughter like, Daddy, it's how you say it, Daddy. Yeah. You may not think it's you being aggressive, but it's your body language, Daddy. You got to work on your body language. So I'm like, okay, I get it.
And that's that passive aggressiveness.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And but that was also learned behavior, particularly for us as big men, tall men, whatever it was. Just your mere presence for some people is intimidating. Yes. And you're not trying to be intimidating. Yes. But like you're saying, that you have to realize that too often as black men in this society, we're often seen as a threat. Yes. And so some of us try to counterbalance that by not being a threat.
That's a whole other topic because
you want to talk about that, son?
That's a whole other topic because I'm sitting here thinking like the narrative that has been shared about black people in general.
That's what angry black man
out there. Yes. You know, angry black man, angry black woman.
Right.
And we just trying to survive. You
know? And that's the problem. Exactly. Because we haven't dealt with the trauma. So sometimes we do come off that way. Because that's what we learned. We learned as boys, just walking down the street, how you walk, how you move. That in itself would be the difference between you being picked on as opposed to people getting out of your way.
Yes. I remember I was in Walmart Black Friday, So I was like,
Did he say Black Friday?
Why's it got to be black?
That's what they call it. So we did Thanksgiving. So I said, excuse me, y'all, because I just want to ask a cop a question. I was like, excuse me, sir, can I ask you a question? He said, yeah. He said, of course, you can ask me a question because I don't want to get you upset. Big. I said, sir, can I ask you a question? He said, yeah. I said, did I come over here like, yeah, my man and all this, brother, you know, with my pants down? He was like, no, you didn't. I said, so why would you think? I said, because of my size. I said, man, I'm a gentle giant. I said, long, you know, if you want to see me upset, mess with my kids. I said, I just want to ask you one question. He was like, you know what? I apologize. Yeah. He said, because you are right. They just automatically look at me and think that, oh, don't want to get him mad. It's gonna be a
that's
problem.
The narrative that they've been putting out there.
Yes.
Everywhere. Like, and it's coded. And like I said, this is a whole other topic.
Right.
And that's a whole other topic.
But that's part of it.
This is also a man. This is also a man that's coming to you saying, excuse me, sir. You know, it's coming to you like a gentleman.
Right.
So that's just, you know.
Because I'm telling you, like, I'm just thinking another topic is like how we code switch around certain.
Well, yeah, that's another thing.
And we shift things so we don't come across as aggressive.
Right. But that's part of the coping mechanism in terms of the trauma. But let's also talk about some of the triggers. And you've talked about some of the triggers that you've dealt with in terms of, because it automatically puts you back in that place. Yeah. And we just react. The trigger that I'm talking about is that when we face trauma, something on the surface appears to be innocent, but for that minute, we're right back there.
Yeah.
And we respond the way that we responded then, or we try to overcompensate that we didn't respond, because at the time we didn't know how to respond. Yeah. So when any ideas of triggers?
Like I tell you, my trigger is I don't like men touching me. I don't like men. If I know you standing behind me, like I don't like men just like I don't know standing too close to me. Mm-hmm. You know, that's definitely a trigger for me. The touching stuff and I don't like men touching me at all.
I'm trying to think of any trigger for me. I don't like when someone walks up on me, and I think that's
like they owe you money.
No, like I owe them money. Like, don't come up on me like that, you know. But I think that's also because of the bullying when I was a kid, you know, like because they would walk up on me like that, you know, and just be aggressive. And so when I sense somebody walking up, I look at them real quick. And here's another thing. I'm always analyzing everything around me as I'm walking somewhere. And I was telling somebody that last week. I was like, I analyze everybody who walks by me. I see what they're wearing, what they look like, because I don't know what's going to happen.
Right. You know? Part of that is survival skills. We were taught to do that.
Yeah.
Particularly nowadays as black men, we need to be aware of what's going on around us. Mm-hmm. We just can't walk into a situation blindly.
I'm always on guard like that. Yeah. Like, who's behind me? Like when I'm walking somewhere, especially at night.
Yeah.
And I keep walking and I'm walking fast. I was in New York City one summer and it was night and I went somewhere late. And it was probably like 1 o'clock in the morning or something like this. And I'm trying to get back to the hotel. And I'm walking by myself and I'm like, and I'm looking everywhere because I'm like, because you know the narrative in New York City,
exactly.
It wasn't nobody on the street. It was just like maybe two people, you know, and they were far. They were far away, but I'm like, this is New York City. And that was my trauma too. Right. Like I've been told,
the
city
survival
is dangerous.
Skills.
You know?
Survival skills, which also coping mechanisms, because that's what we were taught growing up. Sadly, we were also taught, don't trust another black man.
Yeah.
As black men, we were taught, don't let them prove themselves first. You don't just share everything. And, so even though we might nod and give each other the wave and sometimes even dap them up, but it's still like...
like being leery about it, until I get to know you.
Right.
But that's, I mean, like, for me, that's about it for anybody. Mm-hmm. Like I look at everybody and I'm like, okay, I'll assess you the first time, and then
actions.
I wasn't too sure about Cornelius, and then he showed up the second time. I was like, all right, cool.
Time to get the holy water. We might need some holy water in here.
But that was the trauma that we experienced.
Exactly.
That we had people come in and just dip.
Yeah. No doubt. That's understandable. See, that's respectable trauma to me. I think because we all got. Me myself is. I tell people don't pee on me and tell me it's raining. No.
How many times have we heard that?
Don't pee on me. Tell me this. Your actions and let you know. Just like how what's his name, James said he couldn't make it. That's how you do it. You don't wait till the day of and be like, even though I was gonna be taking him if he didn't show. But that's it's just certain things as a man that. And then a lot of us don't understand that it's how to be a man as well.
Well,
some people are still. I know some people that are 62, 63 years old, and they're thinking. I tell them, I don't think like you think. I haven't thought like that since I was 14, 15.
Well, look, that's trauma of not having a father in the house.
Yes.
Or father figure.
Yes. Yes.
And now for Station ID, this is Boston Praise. Here we are, the Brotherhood of Unioncapital Boston. We got the pastor, Bruce Wall. We've got Cornelius. We've got Big D from Detroit. And myself. The number to call in is 617-282-0685. Come on, Roxbury. Come on, Dorchester. Come on, Mattapan.
So, what things resonate with you from this list I just shared? What resonated to you guys from the list I just shared?
Well, the feeling on guard.
Yeah.
Like,
amen.
With people that I don't know or don't trust, right away I'm always on guard. Like, just standing and like thinking, okay, that's the door. I know how to get out to that door. Or I got my hand ready. Or, like, I'm just ready. Always.
Yes. Myself, I can say that too because I never go to a restaurant and sit to my back to the door. I gotta know where the exit is.
Yeah, first.
And people that walk in, I'm looking at them, making sure they don't got no guns on them. Because this world's crazy. People I tell my daughter all the time, stop walking around with them headphones on. You walking in the street, listening to music. Don't do that. Wait till you get home and then listen to the music on your headphones. So I can agree with that as well, Dennis. What about you, Frank?
As I'm looking at the list, some reactions to trauma. Sometimes having problems at work or at school and trying to understand what is my part in the problem. Is it them or is it me?
Yeah.
So, particularly as men, as we mature and we learn how to step back and not just always react to situations.
I'll say also, sometimes it might be like where you can't focus.
Yeah.
And then like you got work to do, but you just can't focus on it because your mind is occupied with
all that stuff.
The thing that might have been, you might have been triggered and it brought back memories and and then you're sitting here trying to do some work, trying to be serious and like get into it. And you're like, man, I can't do it today.
And so that's the thing. It feels so real at that moment. It may have happened 20 years ago, but for that moment, it feels so real. And all your energy is focused right there.
What about this list? Feeling nervous, helpless, fearful, sad, feeling shocked, numb, or not able to feel love or joy, get easily upset or agitated, stomach upset and trouble eating, trouble sleeping and feeling very tired.
I said the upset or agitated.
Okay.
I've had that.
Okay.
Because there's a point where I'm y'all know I'm even keeled.
Right.
But some might.
All of a sudden the beach comes out. The Hulk.
I mean, I'm thinking about that conversation we had at one of the meetings.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a trigger moment.
Yeah.
That was a trigger moment, and I snapped.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't normally snap.
Right.
So that would definitely,
But that was good because it allowed us to see another side of you.
Mm-hmm.
And as we become more accepting of each other, that's the part you really don't know somebody until you see the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Because we can always project what we want you to see, but when you see the other side and you still like them, you still respect them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. For me, the last month or so was trouble sleeping and feeling very tired. Since I've been, I think it was my eating right. Since I'm eating right, I'm sleeping more better and I'm not tired during the day.
Mm.
I'm up and I'm gone. And I go to sleep at a good time and go to bed.
Yeah, I'm tired right now.
But you're here.
Experiencing some
It's
trauma.
hot.
So I'm like,
it's on top of this heat, you know.
I
Yeah.
can take a nap and it won't be any problem.
I don't easily get upset or agitated. Feeling shocked, numb, or not able to feel love or joy.
I've experienced all of these at different times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And again, it's only when I step back and look at the situation, it's like, oh, wait a minute, why am I feeling like this? And what's causing it? So like that said, there might be a trigger that puts me back for a minute, but then I have to realize, wait a minute, that happened 20 years ago. It's only when I realize it. But at the time, it feels like right now, or it feels like yesterday.
So what do y'all do as far as the coping? Like, how do you, what shows up for you when you're trying to cope with either the stressor or the trauma or something that's triggered you? And it doesn't necessarily have to be something that's tied to what we already talked about tonight, but just in general, like how do you cope with stressful moments?
Like when I'm feeling stressful and depressed and things come up from my past, what I like to do is sit in the dark, and I don't know, it's something about that weather station, that music, that weather station that soothes me and calms me down, and I do some breathing exercises.
Mm-hmm.
I breathe through my nose and out my mouth. I do that like for 15 minutes and just meditate and just, and pray.
Amen.
I do a lot of praying. I pray. I'm a praying man. So
Well,
I pray,
come on, son.
and it gets me through it.
If you
I think
worry,
about-
pray. If you pray, don't worry.
That's right.
I would answer that, for me, humor.
Mm-hmm.
That and my mother had told me this 40 years ago. Your sense of humor will get you through. And for me, I found that to be true. That I've been in different situations, but because of my, I have to make sure I say this the right way. God was there protecting me, but because I thought because people liked me, I always got the benefit of the doubt, but that was God. But again, because I thought people liked me, I would get the benefit of the doubt. So a lot of times, and particularly in stressful situations, for me it's been humor.
Yes. That's reversible to me. Because when I'm upset, I laugh and I joke. When I'm upset, I laugh. And when I'm hurting, I laugh and I joke. That's weird for me. Like I make jokes but I'm hurting.
Yeah.
So that's reversible for me.
Yeah. So that's one way to deal with it. Yeah.
I was just thinking for me, like if I'm ever just really down, I just get quiet.
Yeah.
And I just retreat. And because I'm an introvert anyway. Y'all would never guess it.
No.
But for me to retreat recharges me. And if I get to a point where I am stressed, worried, concerned, I just have quiet time. Kind of like you, like I may not sit in the dark, but I'm not gonna have the TV on.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna sit there and think. And I might have music on or something. Sometimes I'll put on, some music that takes me back to my childhood. I love that all the time. Like I'll listen to something from the 80s and just be like, oh man, this takes me back to simpler times.
Yeah.
Or sometimes like when I worked at a university, and I would get really, really stressed because, all the students are back and they coming in my office and, you're trying to get prepared for them. And I'd be stressed And they would come in there and I'm like, what music are you listening to? I'm like, gospel. And I would listen to gospel music because it'd just be relaxing to me.
Yeah.
Like, and I think also it ties me and makes me think of my mother, the gospel music, and I'd just be like, you know, and there was one song, actually there's several, but The Battle Is Not Yours, It's the Lord's, Yolanda Adams.
Come on now.
That song, anytime you put it on, it's like, just takes it away. Because you think in your head, like, it's not my battle.
Come on now.
It's good.
Come on
It
now.
ain't for me.
Come on.
And I also do like a lot of self-talk. And I don't know if y'all do self-talk.
Yeah, I do self-talk as well.
But I'll be like in my head, why are you stressed about this?
Yeah.
Why are you worried? Can you change something about it? You can't. Then it's time to just give it 5 minutes and get over it. Or give it another day.
Come on.
And then get over it.
Come on.
And I do give myself time frames to feel bad.
Right.
Like if I'm gonna feel bad, I'm okay. You're allowed to feel bad for 2 days. After that, you got to move on.
Got to move on.
Because you can't be wallowing in sorrow.
Come on now.
There's too many other things to do in the world. Too many other things I want to accomplish to be sitting there feeling pitiful.
Well.
And why me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Why me? Why not you?
Right. A lot of times, that's what God thinks to us. Why not you? Because when we feel blessed, we don't question it. It's when we're not feeling blessed. Oh, God, why me?
Yeah,
He's like, son, you just got blessed, and now you're saying, why me?
You can't have the blessings without the challenges.
Definitely gotta have the challenge.
Right. That's a part of it. Yes. That is
Yeah,
a part of it, because that's where the growth is. I think I said something. That's where the growth is. It's not in the blessing, it's in the challenges.
Yeah.
That's where you grow.
So you got me thinking another question. No, we're getting short on time. But so growth. How do you know when you've grown past this? Like your trauma and your triggers may always exist, but when you get to a point to where like you got the acceptance of it, how do you know when you're there?
When you don't react. Too often we are quick to react. Go ahead.
Finish.
Too often, particularly when we, as younger men, we would always react to situations. As we become older men and in our Christian walk, we learn that you don't have to react all the time. Sometimes it's better to step back and look at the situation. The difference between react and respond. As a child, I always reacted. As a man, I'm learning how to respond. Respond means I'm going to look at the situation and look at the different options or different things to choose from. And then I respond. Go ahead.
For me, next month, September 11th, it's been 23 years I ain't been in prison, so I know I've grown.
Amen.
I know I've grown. I know I think first before I put everything out. I think first. And usually, like I tell folks, if you get into a situation, whether it's physical or whatever, and by the time you get home and go do what you gotta do, you're not gonna be mad anymore. So that's what I do. And I just think about all the people that need me, and I snap up out of it. And I don't want to be up in South Bay. Oh, what's up, OG? That gets me really out of it.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in South Bay with my nephew's friends and all them.
Right.
So I snap up out of it real quick.
Amen.
So that's how I know I've grown. You know.
Another question that, and this came up last week. We had a leadership summit. You were there.
Yeah.
The question was, what brings you joy? Like, think about like what it is that brings you joy. Because for me, the reason I'm asking this question is trauma can be debilitating. And it can take you out. And it can, keep you in a space where you're not growing. You're not doing these things. And one of the things I think helps you to get out of that is to do things and pour into yourself those things that bring you joy. And and I've talked about this with some friends before, but like keeping a gratitude journal.
Yes.
You can have the most miserable attitude, but when you start to count the good things that are happening,
Yes.
you go, well, why am I so upset?
Right.
Like, why is this bothering me so much?
Amen.
Because it's easy to focus on the negative instead of focus on the things that bring you joy.
Come on now.
Like the things that bring me joy is creative, being creative and showing my creativity. That's why I talked about this past Sunday when we got to redo them, that nightstand. If y'all have saw my face after it was done, I was beaming because I was like, man, I did that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm watching other people be creative, and that brings me joy. It also brings me joy to see when other people are just living their dream. Like you might not be at your dream all the way,
right?
But when you are really trying to get there, I want to help you, and that brings me joy because I'm helping you.
Yes.
Amen.
So, like, what things bring y'all joy?
What brings me joy is seeing my grandsons. He left his shirt in my car, so I'm gonna keep his shirt, and when he's 18 years old, I'm gonna give it to him. That. And another thing, I had them write one thing that they want to be when they grow up. I said, that's your contract. I said, if it changes, I always ask them what they want to be. One of my grandsons want to be a boxer. And then he said, Sunday he want to be a police officer. And then his brother want to be a police officer. So I said, whatever. Let me know when y'all change so I can write it down. And that brings me joy, seeing them happy, smiling. That's priceless.
Amen.
Neither one of them got no male fathers in their lives. They see, so now their mothers, they put me down so I can go up to the school and talk to the school. They put me down as emergency contact. I can go pick them up. I can go talk to see how they doing in school. What can we do? If they got an IEP, I can be involved with. That brings me the most joy.
Amen.
It's priceless, because a lot of because I remember trauma when I used to see my friends. I used to be so jealous. Their fathers be at their baseball games, and my father wasn't. That used to hurt me so much, So now I'm just going to be prepared and be present.
Amen.
So that brings me joy.
What do your grandkids call you?
Papa.
Okay.
Amen.
I knew it wasn't just granddad.
Nah, Papa. And that see, oh my, we just at the beach Sunday, and fantastic. And oh my God, he's like when I make sure when he with me, whatever's going on, he ain't got to worry about nothing, and that just brings me joy to smile and him, how little he is now, and I also because I did it with my daughter. I just gave her shirt when she turned 18. I had a shirt when she was like 3 years old, and I gave her a shirt. I said, well, I hope you give this to your daughter when you're married, and you give this to your daughter when so like stuff like that it just brings me joy, man. I swear, man. And they know what to say. They just Papa. That brings me joy.
For me, I had to understand the difference between joy and happiness. Too often, happy is situational or circumstantial. Joy is internal. One of the things that in the church we used to say, this joy that I have, the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. So the joy that I learned in the church was by having the gratitude, being thankful for what I do have and not always complaining about what I don't have. So that's what brings me joy. And it's a choice. I'm doing one of my financial literacy classes, and I'm dealing with retirees, and I'm asking them, well, what do you look for now? And one woman said, I choose joy. I'm like, oh. Now, and especially in retirement, because retirement can be a hard time, but if you're choosing joy, in spite of the hard time, you're still going to find a way.
That's right.
So when she said that, to me, it helps me to remind myself, choose joy.
Yes.
Regardless of the situation.
That's right. Say
choose
that.
Joy.
Yes. Because everybody's joy is different.
Right, right.
Everybody's joy is different. Someone could be joy just opening the door for some person. That could be their joy. Everybody, and that's why I say, like, stay in your lane. Cause what's so good about staying in your lane is yours, and you're in it by yourself. If you're in your lane. Now, if you all in people's lane, people are doing all that, you won't be other people's business, then that's a different thing. But yeah, I really enjoy this topic. So we're gonna have part 3 next. We're gonna move on.
I guess.
We're going to have to find another topic.
Okay.
All right. That's why I asked him. It's action.
No, so but I'm thinking, one of the topics is thinking about joy. People talking about black boy joy and all that stuff, and thinking about joy, and I'm also excited about doing a topic that's just fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yeah, joy. That's a good topic.
Yeah.
Joy and happiness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's an excellent topic. Because a lot of people, a lot of times, don't talk about in gratitude.
Gratitude.
Like a lot of people don't talk about how grateful they are. Like for me, waking up and getting up, I'm so grateful. Like my daughter be like, she's not a morning person. She don't smile, and I'm sitting around smiling. Daddy, what's so? I mean, you just watch a movie, I'm like, baby, you woke up this morning. You need to be grateful. I said, you're 18 now. When you get into your 60s and 50s, you'll be grateful. Then you'll be, if you make it that far to get up.
Amen.
Thank you.
This is a good topic, fellas.
Yeah, it was. And we did it.
And experiencing joy.